Welcome to This Week in Berkeley Heights, brought to you in part by BerkeleyHeightsPatch.com. I'm Mary Lynn Chiavi. Each week, This Week in Berkeley Heights will bring you a roundup of the latest news and a look ahead at events around town. Later in our broadcast, we will speak with Berkeley Heights Mayor Joseph Bruno about the status of the storm cleanup in the township, as well as what he sees as this year's accomplishments and the township's goals for 2012. The recent storm continues to be a thorn in the side of the township and homeowners more than a month after it left behind downed trees and broken branches. The Department of Public Works has been making the rounds, but because of the extensive damage caused by the October 29th storm, cleanup has taken longer than expected. According to Township Administrator Amy Upchurch, about 30% of the leaves and branches have been picked up so far. Upchurch notes the special chipping program is the township's #1 priority, with all available resources devoted to this program. While leaf collection continues and is expected to be completed by the original completion date of December 16th, because of some weather delays as well as the volume of debris, the goal is to complete the chipping by the end of the year. The township is also finding that additional branches are being placed in the roadway after the crews complete a section of the road, meaning crews have to return a second time to the same location in order to keep the roads open and safe. The township is asking residents not to put branches out after their crews have cleaned up their section. The township is soliciting outside crews to help in the cleanup process. We're going to talk more about this subject with Mayor Bruno in our next segment, and you can also go to BerkeleyHeightsPatch.com to read the entire update on the special chipping program. Well, we actually enjoyed a few weeks without an earthquake, a hurricane, or a blizzard, but that doesn't mean Mother Nature isn't cooking up another weather event to test our resolve. That's why town officials are urging residents to sign up for the UC First Alert Network, which will notify you of a major crisis or emergency. The UC First Alert Network delivers important emergency alerts, notifications, and updates to your email, your cell phone, your smartphone, and your pager. When an incident or emergency occurs, you will be instantly notified and will continue to receive real-time updates and instructions on where to go, what action you should take, and other important information. To sign up for the free service, visit the UC First Alert Network online at ucfirstalert.org. For those who were affected by Hurricane Irene and have not filed a claim with the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, the agency has extended the deadline for filing a claim. Last week, the agency announced a 60-day extension for proof of loss for flood victims. It has been extended to January 23, 2012. The extension goes into effect for flood policy holders in 17 states, including New Jersey. FEMA can be contacted toll-free at 800-462-7585. And the lines are open from 7 in the morning until 10 o'clock at night. So between shopping on Black Friday and a heavy dose of tryptophan from all those turkey leftovers, are you ready to take a nice long nap? Well, if you are, don't sleep through Santa's arrival this Saturday, December 3rd. Santa will be arriving at Town Hall at 10 a.m. sharp and stay until 1 p.m. There will also be horse and wagon rides, a chance to write a letter to Santa, and refreshments. Later on Saturday at 5 p.m., the community is invited to Memorial Park, which is across from Town Hall, for a tree lighting and holiday celebration. You'll have a chance to warm up those vocal cords for caroling with some hot cocoa and cookies. And for the kids, there will be a special mailbox outside of Town Hall that is designated for letters to Santa. There are also many children in need this holiday season. And the Berkeley Heights Recreation Committee is collecting unwrapped toy donations in the barrel located just inside the double glass doors at Town Hall beginning December 3rd through December 15th. All donations will be given to the Elizabeth Coalition to house the homeless. One of Berkeley Heights' own will be on stage this weekend. 12-year-old Michael Ryan will be the lead in Amal and the Night Visitors, one of the most popular American operas to be presented by Hedgehog and Feather Theater Company December 2nd and 3rd at the Holy Trinity Roman Catholic Church in Westfield. The one-act opera tells the story of the power of faith and the meaning of love. The showtime is 7:30. The Holiday Heights Spectacular will take place Sunday, December 18th. The event is aimed at helping the Mount Carmel Society make a difference in the community, with donations going to local charities in need of help. The spectacular includes food and drink, musical entertainment, and 6 hours of fun and holiday merriment, which begins at 6 p.m. And since this is the season of giving thanks, we would like to take this opportunity to offer our sentiments of appreciation to those in town who have recently contributed their time and their energy. Stephanie Bakos, director of the Berkeley Heights Public Library, in a letter to the editor on Berkeley Heights Patch, extended thanks to the volunteers who donated their time and expertise to return the children's department to pre-Hurricane Irene condition. Bakos noted that the volunteers worked long hours to put books back on the shelves, move the tables and chairs, and prepare the room for business. She also extended thanks to library patrons who asked about the progress while also giving kudos to nearby libraries for welcoming Berkeley Heights patrons by loaning materials and providing space for meetings. The children's room is also ready to go, so a great job by Stephanie Bakos and all the volunteers. Coming up next, Mayor Joseph Bruno joins us in our Community Corner.
Michael Leland Briggs.
Orban Calvin Jackson.
Michael Warren Haynes.
PFC Jimmy Ray Rice.
Stephen Wayne Howe.
Ashley Marie Easterbrook.
Brian Carl McMillan.
Welcome back to This Week in Berkeley Heights. Tonight we're here with Mayor Joseph Bruno, and we're hoping to find out what's on his mind. So, Mayor, welcome.
Thank you.
So we actually made it through a couple of weeks without a tornado, an earthquake, or a major blizzard. How do you feel about that?
Well, I feel good about it. It's been a real tough year, as you can imagine. We started the year with snowstorms, that's usual. Then we had some flooding twice this year. We had an earthquake this year. I will look outside and I'm waiting for the locusts to come any minute now. So I'm kidding. But you know, it's been a tough year. This last storm really was a freak snowstorm, and we're still recovering from the debris that was left. It was unprecedented.
How badly would you say Berkeley Heights was hit compared to the rest of Union County?
I think all the towns in this area were hit very bad. You know, the Chatham, ourselves, Summit, New Providence, and we're heavily wooded areas. We love our trees. But consequently, when those leaves are on there and the snow hits, the limbs came down. If you were out that night, I hope nobody was, but I was, and it was devastating to hear the cracking and the thumping of limbs coming down.
It was unbelievable.
And I would say that the average, if you look around town, it's about 10 times the normal limbs and trees that we have. So, you know, we're blessed with only one chipper in town. So. Our DPW men have been doing 6-day weeks trying to get it all up before the snow hits, because if the snow hits, we're going to be in trouble. So just today, I authorized us to go out and look for contractors to assist us, because I'm getting kind of nervous now. We've been blessed with some pretty nice weather
Right.
the last couple of weeks.
The calm before the storm,
Yeah,
right?
and if the snowstorm hits, we'd be in trouble. So we're about 40% through the town, and there's a lot of trees and limbs still there. So I would ask the residents to be patient with us. We are trying to do it. We do have a budget to contend with, and we don't have unlimited funds. And we were trying to do it all in-house, and I don't think that's possible anymore. So we're going to go out and get some contractors to assist us.
Do you have any plans to meet with JCP&L? Were you happy with the way the power was restored?
No. No, I'm trying to be kind. No, I wasn't. I don't know if anybody was. You know, the storm wasn't JCP&L's fault, and so to blame them for the storm would have been wrong. But the cleanup and the communication, I think, can be squarely blamed on JCP&L. Their real lack of communication with us as a township, with our residents. I mean, from Thursday night on that week, the power was going to be restored at midnight. Thursday at midnight, then Friday at midnight, and Saturday, and so on. And I just don't think they had a clear picture of what was wrong from where their management was. I think the men in the field did a great job, the best job they could. But our residents were being called saying that your power's on, and almost getting into a debate with the person on the other end of the phone. No, my power's not on. Are you sure? Right. I'm in the dark. You know, so.
So what do you think the learning is? Not necessarily for JCP&L. I mean, they've got like a whole list that they've got to work on. From the standpoint of the town, what do you think the town has learned in terms of how to deal with these weather disasters now?
Well, I think the one thing is our tree inspection has to be diligent on our part. We have to make sure that the limbs around the lines are clear. I mean, a lot of residents were sore, and you know, I've got a lot of emails saying, why didn't you take a look at this in April? And that's a fair point. Right. You know, we never thought we had to do that, but I think now our tree inspector should go around every year and do an assessment. It is JCP&L's responsibility to clear the limbs away from the lines, and if they're not doing it, we need to make sure they do it. They did send notices out in the spring. They were going to do it, but I don't know if they ever fulfill their obligation there. So we need to be more proactive. I mean, it takes one storm to say, okay, wait to wake you up, and we may never get a storm like that for another 100 years, but next time we'll be ready.
We're going to be prepared.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you see as your major accomplishments this year? Now, you've been mayor for 1 year.
1 year.
And how does it feel to be the mayor?
Oh, in good times it feels good. You know, it's a responsibility. I think most people understand that. You know, I'm a part-time mayor. I have a full-time job, and we dedicate as many hours as we possibly can to being mayor of the town. I do have a full-time administrator in Amy Upchurch who runs a day-to-day operation, but it's been challenging this year because I don't remember a year where we've had all these incidents happen to us. So you know, you learn a lot from experience. But it's been a good year. We have accomplished some of the goals we set out. Most of them, as a matter of fact. You know, we did pare down the budget. The budget was done earlier than it's ever been the last 10, 15 years, where we had done by May. This year, we've already started the 2012 budget process. We hope to get it done by tax day, by April 15th, if not earlier. And in the process last year, we did save $92,000 in salaries. We trimmed expenses by $36,000. I say we, the council, actually does that work, and they did a fine job with it. I think the biggest thing, one of the nicest things I see is the attitude of the people who work at Town Hall. I think they're genuinely happy to work there. A lot of the nonsense we've had over years is not there. And a lot of that starts with the mayor's position and the council position. We're there to do our business, and it's okay to disagree. It's not okay to be disrespectful. Was what I ran on the year before, and I think that's come to fruition this year.
How did you affect that change?
Just by demanding that we do not be disrespectful for each other. We know when I first started 2 years ago as council president, we had an egg timer, which I took a lot of ridicule for at the meetings. But you know, we had to get it down to where people would come to a meeting, state their case in a 3 to 4 minute period, and move on. And we were not going to engage in a debate on the night of a meeting. If you have a question, we'll be glad to answer it. But you know, the back and forth had to stop. some of the antics that we happened at town hall over the years, at meeting nights, so we did away with.
And besides, life is too short for long meetings,
It
right?
is. It is. I mean, again, we all work, so we have to do our business, make sure it gets done, and then go home. So we accomplished that. But basically, the council that is assembled now is very respectful of each other. We can differ, and we do differ at times.
Right.
I don't think there's not too many times where everybody agrees on everything, and that's okay, because you can disagree. Again, my thing is you can disagree. It's not okay to be disrespectful to each other. So I think that's, we do our business, we state our case, we state why we're voting yes or no, but we're not going to change anybody's mind on a day, and then you move on to fight another day. And I think that's the way we should be doing business. I think that's what's missing in politics in general, is a demeanor where it's okay to disagree.
And I think people, the average American, is not happy about the tension between the parties and the way politics is actually being conducted.
Well, why would
Makes
you?
everybody uncomfortable.
Why would you? Nothing's getting done.
Right,
And I
exactly.
think people, the business of government is to get something done
Exactly.
and to accomplish, whatever it is they're set to accomplish. But they have to have an agenda and get it done. So. A little less chest thumping and more action I think would be the course, and we've done that in Berkeley Heights this year.
Amen.
Yep.
What are you most excited about? We are, a little over a month away from 2012. What's exciting? What can we expect in 2012?
Well, in 2012, I think the most is I see businesses starting to come back into town, which is very, very exciting for me as a businessman. 6 months ago, it was getting kind of dismal in the downtown area, and I think people look at government. They always say, "What are you going to do?" And the truthful answer is, there's not much we can do. We don't start businesses ourselves. We can attract businesses, we can court businesses, but that's about the end of our input into it. But slowly but surely, we have a new bakery that opened in town, Bake You Crazy.
Yep.
We have interest in the ERA building, a deli and a butcher shop and a yogurt store has been looking at that. Mama's Caboose will open sometime early 2012. It won't be Mama's Caboose, it'll be something else. So we have another deli across the street and by Subway that's going to open up. So there are businesses coming back into town, and there are still. Having said that, we just lost Pizza Hut, closed recently. But again, you have to support the businesses for them to stay in town. I don't know if 5 pizzerias was necessarily what we needed in Berkeley Heights. So hopefully another restaurant will open there. But Graziano's has just been sold, and there's a new restaurant going to open there. So slowly but surely they're coming back. The other initiative we mentioned last year was starting a special improvement district, or seeing if the businesses wanted to start a special improvement district. It's all really about them. And we just came back from the League of Municipalities convention, and there's a program that we're looking at where businesses will help residents pay their taxes by shopping at their businesses. So we're looking more and more at that. Marlborough Township, I believe, is running that now, or going to run it. They have the pilot program, and it was really piqued the interest of myself. Councilman Pastor was with me, and it really got us kind of excited about maybe something to look at. So there's a lot of positive things that we can do as in government. And again, the one thing that's great about Berkeley Heights is we do have the status of the 45th most desirable place in the country to live,
Absolutely.
and New Jersey Monthly 7th most desirable place in the state to live. So there are reasons for people to shop in Berkeley Heights, to live in Berkeley Heights, to play. We got great schools, so we just need to tell people about that.
Great. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
It
And I
was
hope
my
you
pleasure.
come back on a regular basis
You
and
get the- you give me-
update everyone.
You give me the invitation, I'll be glad to come back. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And please stay tuned for the rest of our program.
That was sick.
I know, it was an amazing party, man.
All right, yeah. Let's go. I gotta get home.
All right, me too. You good to drive?
Yeah, I'm good.
Sure?
Yeah.
All right.
Watch out!
The holidays are almost upon us, and for many, that also means it's time to shop for a Christmas tree. Bob Lahoff of Hall's Garden Center in Berkeley Heights tells us how to pick the perfect tree.
Welcome to Hall's Garden Center and Florist. We were asked today to talk about some of our Christmas trees that we sell and the selection that we have to offer to the public. The first tree that we wanted to talk about really is the piece de resistance. This is Fraser fir, Abies fraseri. We bring these in from two locations. One is Canada, and the heavier trees we bring in here, these are coming in from North Carolina. The reason why Fraser is really caught on in the public's eye is because it has an ability to hold a lot of water, more water than many other tree types, balsam fir being one of them. It has very, very sturdy branches, and it has great form and great color. It has a bicolor to it. The bottom of it is going to be blue and the top of it is going to be green. The ability to hold heavy ornaments, the overall structure of the plant, all lend itself to being a popular choice this time of year. And two things we wanted to point out: when you're picking your tree this year, you want to make sure that the ends of the branches are very pliable, because that's showing sign that there is moisture in the plant. And also, when you go and you pull on the outside of it, you want to make sure that there aren't needles in your hand. If you had needles in your hand, you know that that tree's on its way out and it's starting to dry out. So I think you should look for Abies fraseri this holiday season. So we were talking about the different kinds of trees, and another type that we offer, this is Abies balsamea or balsam fir. These balsam fir that we bring in, these are from Canada. And again, it's a good, solid, all-around tree, but it seems to be a little bit more price conscious. And it has sturdy branches on it. The green color on it seems to be more fluid throughout on top and bottom, whereas if you looked at the Fraser fir, there is more of a stark contrast with the blue belly and the green top. Still a solid tree. You're still looking for the same things when you're buying a tree, and that's the pliable branches. You want to make sure you pull on the external limbs and there aren't any needles falling off in your hand. So the third tree that we wanted to show you, we'll talk about others, but the third one we wanted to show you, this is Abies concolor. This is white fir. It's a little bit more of a misnomer. A lot of people haven't heard of this tree, but the ones that have heard of it seem to be asking for it time and time again. It's another one of those fabulous trees that has an ability to hold a lot of water. So it easily makes it into the new year, and I've had customers say they've held it for the third week of January without any problem. The needle on it is a lot more plump, and if you look at this carefully, this has a little bit more of a blue pigment on this one. That's not to say that all Abies concolor will have that blue pigment. They are grown from seed, so there will always be a little bit of a discrepancy as the tree grows rather than a grafted tree. But again, a nice solid tree. You can put heavier ornaments on it. You can pull on it. There aren't any needles that are coming off. The branches are very pliable. The color is outstanding. And most importantly, it can hold a lot of water. So one of the things that we wanted to address today was, why do we put a fresh cut on a tree and why it's useful for that tree. When you do that, you want to make sure that you take off between 1/2 inch and 1 inch off the bottom of the tree, because the tree is going to drink from this inner layer right here in cambium layer. That's where nutrition and water are going to flow from. It serves no purpose to drill holes into the tree over here. What you want to do also is make sure that once that tree was cut at your tree lot, you want to get it in water within the first couple of hours. Otherwise, resin is going to start to form and it's going to seal up the pores on the tree, and it's not going to be able to drink water anymore. The other thing that I wanted to address is, this is more or less a game. We've cut these trees are now no longer living. And what we want to do is make sure that these trees are hydrated. Once you cut the tree and put it in water, that's when the game begins. The tree will start to drink for about 10 to 14 days. You should be checking it every day for good hydration. Some people put in aspirin, some people are putting in sugar into it, but really good, fresh, clean water is the answer. A hydrated tree will last long. Once the tree starts to drink, again, 10 to 14 days, it hydrates itself, and then the game starts. Then it starts to dehydrate itself. So you want to make sure that you're picking the trees that we talked about: Fraser fir, noble fir, concolor fir. Those are really the best ones to consider. I want to thank you for stopping by Hall's Garden Center and Florist today, and we look forward to seeing you. Enjoy the holidays.
Our thanks to Bob for his insight, and our thanks to you for watching the first episode of This Week in Berkeley Heights. For the entire Governor Livingston crew, I'm Mary Lynn Schiavi. See you around town.